Brian Schaefer, Hunter Education Coordinator for the North Dakota Game and Fish Department. Plan to be prepared, and that should start a couple weeks before the season. If you're doing things right the morning of, you're going to probably forget something. So we encourage people a couple weeks out from opening day of pheasant season or opening day of deer season, check over to make sure you have all the appropriate licenses, tags, everything from a legal standpoint is checked off. Then also, if you drew that mule deer buck tag out in the Badlands, make sure you're getting in good shape before the season. And then just making sure all of your equipment's in working order. And just all of that preparation before the opening day of the season prevents a lot of situations from occurring, and it provides a much more enjoyable experience for everyone in the field. I would say archery hunters are probably our most common group to use tree stands here in North Dakota, and we just really recommend and encourage archery hunters whenever their feet leave the ground that they're connected to that tree in some way with a lifeline or a safety harness, and just take that extra effort to make sure that you're staying safe this fall when you're up in an elevated platform. Our upland game season's starting here pretty quickly. Just really encourage people to be safe and cognizant around the vehicles when you're close to other hunters, loading, unloading those shotguns, to make sure you're facing away from each other when you're doing that, and give each other a lot of space during that process, whether crossing a fence, unloading those firearms before crossing it, or getting back to the vehicle, loading and unloading. Give each other a lot of space. And then we've also seen a little bit of an uptick in the last few years with some incidents with upland bird hunters, specifically pheasant hunters late season, pushing out cattail sloughs, where we've had some incidents with stray pellets hitting people who are posted on the other end. So just be very aware of your target and what is beyond it. It's critical when we're upland bird hunting, especially in real thick cover, maintaining straight lines and being aware of where all those other hunters are and maintaining safe zones of fire. By state law, upland game hunters are not required to wear blaze orange, but we highly recommend it. It really cuts down on incidents of swinging on game, and it's really important during the deer gun season. In November, that's some of our best upland bird hunting available throughout the calendar year. And when we have multiple user groups out there on the landscape, we highly recommend you wear plenty of blaze orange during the deer gun season. Waterfowl's a little different than upland bird hunting. We're in stationary locations the majority of the time, and we've had some incidents in recent history with layout blinds. And just want to remind people that we got to keep those shotguns pointed in a safe direction all the time, especially when people or dogs are out retrieving down birds. And then also making sure that we keep those muzzles out of the ground blinds and keeping them pointing in a safe direction while the birds are approaching. And keeping that safety on until the firearm is shouldered. Just all those little things we can do that add up to having a safe day in the field. Waterfowl hunters, trappers, late season pheasant hunters, we have a lot of water on the landscape here in North Dakota, and we just really want people to be aware of, just because the ice is thick near shore, birds keep sloughs or larger wetlands open, springs can be out there, really can change the thickness of the ice pretty quickly. So just be aware of that and take that longer walk around the wetlands until we're aware all of those are frozen completely. And then always have a way to self-rescue, and when you get back to the vehicle, it's not a bad idea to have some dry clothes waiting for you in case you do fall in and get wet. Getting out of those wet clothes is critical, and to getting dry and warm again. Doesn't matter how good a swimmer you are, that cold water can break down even the best swimmers. So highly recommend, even if it's not required by law, for our late season waterfowl hunters or any waterfowl hunters using the boats or kayaks or small watercraft this fall, to put that life jacket on. It is a lifesaver when the water's cold. Even if the air is still a little bit warm, that water cools down pretty quickly here in the fall. During deer gun season, it's required to wear solid blaze orange. Camo blaze orange or broken up blaze orange is not legal, does not meet the legal requirement for state law. And just some of the things we see with deer gun hunters is just making sure we get all the way out of the vehicle before we load or unload our firearms. And with most of North Dakota being relatively flat, being aware of what's beyond our target with those rifles. Rifle bolts can go a long ways, even if you do hit that big game critter, mule deer, whitetail, pronghorn. Not shooting at skylined animals is really important here on the prairie because you're not aware of what's on the other side of that hill, and a rifle bullet can go a long ways. The fall on the prairie is a super busy time, not just for hunting seasons, but also for our agricultural producers around the state, moving cattle closer to home, combining crops. It's just it's a busy time of year on the Northern Prairie, and we just really encourage our hunters who are guests on a lot of private land and heading out in those rural parts of the state for recreational opportunities, that we're not interfering with those agricultural producers who are getting their crops off or moving cattle. And I just highly encourage people to give those producers lots of space, whether they're combining sunflowers or corn during deer season. Don't be circling that combine on the gravel roads. Give them some space. They're out there making a living, and we want to respect them because they do provide a lot of wonderful access across the state of North Dakota to hunters and anglers alike. So just whether it's other hunters, agricultural producers, or just other recreationists out there, just always urge on the side of caution and give people some space. And North Dakota offers some of the best hunting in the nation, and we just want to encourage people to take that extra second to think about doing things safely, not the easy way, but the safe way. And we have great opportunities of all kinds, wing shooting to big game hunting. We want to make sure everyone has a safe trip out to the field and everyone comes home this fall. And so just highly encourage people to take that extra minute, to think about things before you do it, and err on the side of caution. If you're questioning whether something's safe or not, you probably shouldn't be doing it. So new hunters and old hunters alike need to take that extra second and just do things the right way.